Hi, welcome to Axiom TV, another episode of Axiom TV. I'm Jason V. Human. The V means vehemently, as well as varsity minded. Um, in this video, I'd like to address the debate between Richard Spencer, alt-right alt-right leader, or the face of the alt-right, versus Tariq Nasheed. Man, I almost I like I hesitated for a moment. I see Stephanie. What's up, Steph? Um, I want to address some. Let me tell you why it bothered me. What was supposed to be, I thought it was going to be a great debate because Tariq Nasheed has made the Hidden Colors series, and I'm a subscriber to his channel. I'm a big fan of him. And Richard Spencer, though I disagree with many of his views, I think the man has some intelligence, unlike white supremacists that I hear talk. You know what I mean? Like, he's actually got some kind of reasoning, though it's faulty reasoning. He's actually can articulate his reasoning in a very intelligent manner. You know, I hate gender biased words, but in a very intelligent way that that I can clearly understand his point. Now, why am I disappointed in this? And it might surprise many of you as to what I thought the cause of the disappointment was. You can ask the people on my friend list. Once I found that video and found out it was live, I instantly posted it up on my Facebook because I'm thinking, wow, I'm rubbing my hands together like, oh, okay, here we go. This is a showdown. You know what I mean? I'm thinking one guy's waltzing out there looking like toucans, looking like, what's my man's name from Bugs Bunny with the guns? Something Sam. I forgot what his name was, but that angry dude with the red mustache and the two guns had his 6-shooters on his side. So I'm thinking this is about to be like, you know what I mean, like a real giant battle of juggernauts, you know, mental juggernauts. I was expecting like an intellectual collision. But unfortunately, I was markedly disappointed. And instantly I had to like change the status on the post that I had posted and to express my disappointment in. Now, let me tell you what disappointed me about it. First off, once again, I'm a big fan of Tariq Nasheed. I am a big fan of his. I am a subscriber to his channel long before this debate came out. Ever since I've heard of the Hidden Colors series from Dr. Boyce Watkins, excuse me, I subscribe to Tariq Nasheed's channel. Now, while I'm saying that, I also watched a lot of interviews with Richard Spencer, and I remember in one video about him, I remember it's Cornel West that was referring to him. He said, "We are not to dismiss Tariq Nasheed. We're not to dismiss Richard Spencer and his views because what makes him scary is the fact that he is presenting white supremacy and white nationalism in an intellectual way." So Cornel West, who's one of the intellects today of the highest order, once he did that, I said, okay, let me start taking this guy seriously. So I started really checking out Richard Spencer's videos. You know what I mean? I'll tell you one thing, like, though I disagree with him on many things, there's one video that I saw when Trump decided to drop the mother of all bombs on Afghanistan. Richard Spencer actually made a video speaking out against that. And I said, wow, I'm here thinking that all these white supremacy people are pro-war. So I was very shocked to see him take that position, and he also took the position of he's ready for the baby boomer generation um, of conservatives to go. And you know what? I'm ready just for the baby boomer generation period to go. But this is what I was very disappointed in. Tariq Nasheed opened the interview. Like, first off, it wasn't a face to face. It wasn't. They weren't on the same set, and that was fine. I was expecting like a Google Hangout, maybe them side by side, but we didn't even get that. Instead, it was Richard Spencer calling in, and to his credit, I will give Richard Spencer credit. There's one thing no one can deny: the man has heart. Not only have I seen this man punched in the face, which I thought was um, very silly and very wrong on whoever punched him in the face. The man's expressing his views. Let him express his views. You know what I mean? It's not like he's there using the word nigger or something. He's not waving a Confederate flag and he's not burning a cross. The man is going around and he'll show up on anyone's platform. Whether you're black, white, Chinese, the man, he's that confident in what he has to say. And I respect that. I can respect that. That's bravery to me. That's him at least not being a coward, hiding behind a hood or hiding behind a flag or anything like that. So I respect that. And so Tariq Nasheed opens the interview and says, would you say, and I'm going to paraphrase him because I didn't quote everything. I'm going to paraphrase him. He says, would you say that white supremacy is a form of religion? And to his credit, he eventually got Richard Spencer to concede to that point. And he asked him another question about this symbol. I guess a lot of alt-right are beginning to like take pictures like this. And Tariq Nasheed asked him, what is that? What do you mean by that hand gesture? And Richard Spencer said that it goes back to Donald Trump, how Donald Trump is always saying beautiful, or yeah, everything's fine, everything's beautiful, everything's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? So Tariq Nasheed took that as, okay, this is a secret symbol that the white supremacists are beginning to use. And he also made reference that that's the same symbol that the Blood street gang uses. Now, as the interview went on, which only lasted about 10 minutes, I think, if that, Tariq Nasheed kept asking him questions, I noticed that he started doing something that just threw me off, and to this moment I still can't tell you why he. Well, you know what? I think I can why he did it. But Tariq Nasheed started asking Richard Spencer a question, and then he would cut him off in the 3 words in or 7 words in, or he was talking over Richard Spencer, and it became quite. I don't know. It almost was like watching 2 kids argue. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not what I was. And I'm thinking, here are 2 intelligent men, 2 men that are at the forefront of this race issue that plagues our country. And instead of trying to reach resolution or engage in meaningful debate and exchange ideas, what it ended up being was, and I know I'm going to get in a lot of trouble with race on this, but hey, I got to speak what I saw. It ended up being Tariq Nasheed bullying Richard Spencer. It was like bullying him to the point that Richard Spencer just said he had to go, and then Tariq Nasheed was like, "Oh, you're running," or he basically said, "You're running," and then Richard Spencer is like, "I'm just gonna go." You know what I mean? So he hangs up the phone, and Tariq Nasheed is like, "Yeah, see, he ran, y'all." Now, this is my thing, man. What was the point of that? Did you invite him on to debate him with the intent of debunking his ideas? Or did you invite him on to incite your audience? Like, to me, it seemed like Mr. Nasheed invited Richard Spencer, based on the actions, to incite his own audience in order to show them that, hey, I stood up to the big bad wolf, Richard Spencer from the alt-right. He didn't. He just. It was more like to play on the emotions of his of his audience. Remember, we got to remember this, black people, and I'm not just black people on this particular point, but I'm really talking to everyone. We got to remember that not all people who claim that they're about that they love black people and are putting themselves out on the front line for black people are really for black people. Because the fundamental, which is what I like to boil things down to and reduce them down to, the fundamental fact is that without racism and without the continued oppression of black people, people like Tariq Nasheed would not have a platform. You see what I'm saying? With the problem of racism, he would not be popular. He would not be able to gain the attention and the prominence that he has in the black community. And that's my problem with a lot of black leaders, or so-called black leaders, is the very fact that it seems to me, I have to wonder, are you trying to solve the problem when in a way you would actually, you'd be putting yourself out of a job by trying to solve racism? They'd put themselves out of a job. Kind of like how if the police went around if the justice system solved all crime, they'd put themselves out of a job. Or if the government solved all the issues, they'd put themselves out of a job. Therefore, it is in their best interest to what? Continue the problem. Capitalism 101. And I just base someone's validity of their arguments based on what their skin color looks like or appearances. That's called a facade. I like to look beyond the superficial and go deeper into what is being said. So to me, it was more like Tariq Nasheed was being like Tucker Carlson on Fox News. He was bullying his guest instead of allowing Richard Spencer to espouse his beliefs, to espouse his ideas. Now, let me tell you why I found such a big problem with this. Because it was as if Tariq Nasheed took very good notes from Tucker Carlson. He would let Richard Spencer say a couple of things and then just like blatantly cut this man off and disrespectfully cut him off. I felt like I was watching a Tucker Carlson interview. It was crazy. I'm like, hold on. If you're trying to debunk this man, then wouldn't the better tact be to have Mr. Spencer say what he feels and then point by point go down the line and debunk them? That to me would be the best way to go about debating Mr. Spencer. But instead, that's not what Tariq Nasheed did. Instead, Mr. Nasheed chose, and in my mind it was deliberate, because you could see him waiting, salivating at the mouth for Richard Spencer to call in. And he put up the title. He knew that Richard Spencer is not only Tariq Nasheed's audience was going to be watching, but Richard Spencer's audience was going to be watching. And what do white supremacists use as the justification for white supremacy? They say that blacks aren't as intelligent, blacks are loud, blacks are annoying, blacks are, we already went over not intelligent, right? They say that blacks just don't have any discipline. That's, if anything, he played right, Tariq Nasheed played right into that narrative. Instead of going at Mr. Spencer in a calm and controlled manner, he went at him like he was having an argument with his boy in the barbershop about who was better, LeBron or Kobe. And instead of letting the other guy talk, Mr. Spencer talk, he just blatantly and brazenly cut him off. And to me, it was more playing to the emotions of his audience. Now, I immediately commented on this, right on Mr. Nasheed's page. I immediately commented on it and expressed my displeasure to it. You see my comment right on that. I posted the video. You can see my comment on that video where I say, hey, and I go very respectfully at him. I say, I don't think that you handled that right. I think that you were like a bully in that case, because I wanted to hear Mr. Spencer express his views, and I wanted to see if Tariq Nasheed could debunk them, because I know I could debunk them. So I wanted to see if Tariq was going to do a better job of it. And to me, the fact that he chose to attack him the way he did, attack Richard Spencer the way he did, to me that showed that he couldn't debunk them. He was incapable of debunking the message that Mr. Spencer put forth. Now remember, I'm a fan of Tariq Nasheed, so I watched a lot of his interviews as well. And I remember one where where he gets interviewed on the Brilliant Idiot, the Brilliant Idiots, the show The Brilliant Idiots, with I forget, I think it's Andrew Schultz. I know his last name is Schultz, and Charlemagne the God. And normally on that show, Charlemagne the God is the one he's the controlled one, he's the disciplined one, and Andrew Schultz just goes crazy, and he seems to be like the entertainment factor of the show. But when he debated Tariq, Mr. Nasheed, I noticed that Schultz did point to something I agree with. He said, for such an intelligent guy, you love to use the word supremacy. And yes, we can call the concept of white supremacy what it is, but to me, Tariq Nasheed says it ad nauseum. He says it ad nauseum. It's like the only word he seems to know. Like he can't get around not saying that word. It's always white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, and then he even lumped the alt-right into that group. Now, being a man that a gentleman that created the series of Hidden Colors, in which he talks about how racism and how it's perpetuated against blacks in America, or African Americans in America, earth tone people. You would think that Tariq Nasheed would have done his research to know that all white people do not get along. To lump the alt-right in with and I hear a lot of people do this, they love to lump the alt-right in with the neo-Nazis, with the Ku Klux Klan, with the and all the other white nationalists or white separatists or white supremacy hate groups. They love to lump them all into one, and this is a mistake, because if you actually do the actual calculation or think about it, when whites were alone in Europe before they ever came across Africans, whites were always at war with each other. Whites were always at war with each other. Did we forget the story of Hitler's Germany? Hitler didn't just attack Africa. Hitler attacked all of Europe. Did we forget the story of Napoleon? Napoleon didn't conquer France. He was from France and conquered all of Europe. Like, except Russia, which wasn't considered as a part of it at that time officially. But so to say, oh, the alt-right is a part of the neo-Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan and what have you, that is a mistake, because all white people do not get along. History has proven that. In fact, I have already made a video as that is the reason why blacks have not gone the way of the Native American in the United States, is because, put it, the French philosopher from the 20th century, blacks are used in society, serve in society as the buffer, as Lincoln's enemy. Excuse me, that Lincoln spoke of as the reasons why a lack of one is why there was a civil war in this country, less than 100 years after the Constitution was ratified. So I thought Tariq Nasheed made a very, very big mistake in his approach to that debate. Like, if you're really you have a great chance to engage live in front of not only your audience, but as well as the Richard Spencer's audience, to debunk this man and his beliefs right there for the world to see. And to me, it's like a wasted opportunity. You ended up being like he ended up being like Bill O'Reilly, or more like Bill O'Reilly or Tucker Carlson, where he was just playing to the emotions of the audience. Now, to incite black people is not very hard. After 400 years of trauma, it is very easy to incite black people. Very easy to stoke the emotions of black people, to provoke black people. It's very easy. Like, all human beings are emotional. First off, that's the reason why you have the white racist leaders. They stoke the emotions of their audience. And we'll have the black leaders. They took a page right out of that book, and they know how to stoke and provoke the emotions of the black audience. Well, guess what? If someone is trying to solve a problem, you're going to make everyone mad, because you're not going to come with a biased argument. You're going to come with a complete argument in which you address not only you give credit to the opposing side as well as your side, but you also debunk, reduce, refute, and debunk the opposing side's position as well as your own audience's position. And that's the reason why it was just an epic fail. Like, I have to ask Mr. Nasheed, as well as any other black leader, that's what it is. Before I get crucified, excuse me, I hate that. Let me not use that religious term, because you know me in religion. I'm anti-religion. Truth, which is my pursuit. If the idea is to bring society's problems to resolution, then there should be no bullying involved. If you are confident in what you have to say, then you shouldn't be bullying anyone, which is why I respect and give credit to Richard Spencer. You never see him in any interview trying to bully the person that is interviewing him. He's always calm and collected. Not Sam Harris calm, but it's a eerie, scary calm that Cornel West was the first to take notice of. And that's the reason why I take my cues from top or intellects of the order and not from provocateurs. You have to go about, if your idea is to solve the problem, then you allow the opposing to express their views and opinions or ideas, and then you point by point go down the line of their argument and refute and debunk it. But if you're incapable of doing so, then, like any emotional person when trapped in a corner, you come out swinging with anything. Or the other way would be you try to make fun of the person. Trying to reduce Richard Spencer to a caricature is not going to work. That is not how you go about trying to debunk this man. If anything, you lend credit to him. It shows that you have to come with sarcastic jokes like my man who hosted the White House Correspondents' Dinner the other day. He can't go attacking Donald Trump and remove him from office. He can't remove the administration from office. He can't remove the media. So his only defense and attack was to use sarcasm. And that's what I notice everyone does with Richard Spencer. Those who want to attack him, they don't, it doesn't need to be all loud with arguments or yelling at this man or trying to make him look small. No, if you're an intellect, unless you're an intellect, if you're a cerebral, unless you're not a cerebral, you know what I mean? You go about trying to debunk someone or an idea by pointing to it, breaking it down, reducing it point by point, and showing why it is false. Showing why, clearly showing why it's a fallacy. That is the reason why I say free speech is so dangerous. Because no one has to back up their arguments with what they have to say. And to me, Tariq Nasheed failed because of that. That debate goes to Richard Spencer. Once again, Richard Spencer showed up. Whether it be a phone call or not, he still showed up. He didn't go at Tariq Nasheed trying to insult him. He started to answer his questions in a polite manner, and Tariq Nasheed went out of his way to clown, if you would, clown Mr. Spencer instead of reducing and debunking his ideas. And to me, that's what gives, lends credibility more to Mr. Spencer as a debater, and it reduced Tariq Nasheed to no more than a provocateur, which might as well join Fox News and be and join that provoking organization, or join CNN if he wants to be known as the left, and join them as provocateurs. But or a pundit. But there was no intellect there. There was no intellectual exchange going on, and he made Richard Spencer look like the intellect in that conversation, and him look like the emotional black person, the uncontrollable black person, the non-disciplined black person, the annoying black person. It was disappointing. I was very disappointed. That's all I'm saying. And I know my own race is going to kill me for it, but guess what? I'm a truth teller. I'm a truth teller. And when you're a truth teller, unfortunately, truth offends everyone. But I'm not going to stop talking truth because of it. I'm not playing to my race. I'm not playing to another race. I am playing for your kids, for the next generation, for the future of the world. The rest of the stuff is just capitalism. It was idiocy. It was just very disappointing, very frustrating and disappointing. But I'd like to extend an invitation to Mr. Spencer or Tariq Nasheed. I would like to engage either of you in debate, on meaningful debate, free of a live audience around us, or euphemisms and double talk and any kind of speaking game. I just want to go idea for idea. Intellect to cerebral, because I'm not an intellect. I'm a cerebral. Intellects to me are not intellectual. You know what I mean? But I'm a cerebral. And I just know that I can reduce the argument of white supremacy, white power, and I can reduce the black superiority and black power, because I want to debunk superiority. I do not want to replace one tyranny and replace it with another one. I want to achieve progress. Two people take an opposing position, two people take an opposing position, and then sincerely trying to meet with truth in the middle. That is the kind of meaningful debate and exchange of ideas that I would like to engage in. Now, if that makes me an Uncle Tom or a out or whatever it is that I'm going to be called for it, guess who's going down with the ship? I'm a thinker. That's what nature put this planet to be. Everyone else that wants to be provoke people's emotions and everything else, like, are we playing in the schoolyard, or are we playing the high adult games here? Which one is it? Let's get it together, man. If we're about resolution, I send an invitation to Gavin McGinnis, Sam Harris, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Richard Dawkins, Daniel Bennett, Nasheed, Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson, Tucker Carlson. Well, you know what? He's just a provocateur. Any of these people that claim that they're scholars or nerds or whatever else, and Richard Spencer, of course, I definitely would like to debate you I'll give you to talk. You can talk all day. I'll listen to you, but also know that I'm going to reduce and debunk what you say, and I'm going to do it brilliantly. You have a good day.